Live from Austin, Texas, you're listening to the Next 15 podcast show with Trey North, a live podcast covering random topics such as relationships, current news, and everyday life issues, along with my co-hosts, Chris McCallister and Andrea Clark. Get ready for the next few minutes as we hope to make you laugh, educate, and inspire you. Welcome to the Next 15 podcast show. It's Friday night, 7 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Next 15 podcast show with yours truly, Trey North. We are a podcast covering random topics such as relationships, current news, and everyday life issues. And we welcome all of you on the Spreaker platform, Facebook, YouTube, and our future downloaders all across the states and our international downloaders. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And as you can already see, I'm not alone. I'm with Andrea Clark and Chris McCallister. The Treacherous Three is now back in the studio. What up, Andrea? How you doing tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm doing fine. I can't see your face, so just hit me up in the place.
Also, can't forget Chris McCallister, pastor of Life Changes Church right here in the beautiful city of Austin, Texas. What up, Chris?
What's going on, everybody? You know, like I like to say it, it's so good to be back in the saddle, everybody.
That's the famous tagline. I love that tagline, bro.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Guess what? You guys know what it is. Tonight's episode is What Women Want. We did this last season. We did What Guys Want featuring Dwayne McCallister, and we gave you ladies the inside scoop on how guys think and the things that we're looking for in a woman and also in a relationship. So guess what? Tonight, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to switch it up, and it's going to be y'all turn tonight. So ladies, listen, this is an interactive show. Please don't leave Andrea hanging to dry tonight because we're going to beat her up with these questions. So listen, this is an interactive podcast. We have a podcast line that'll be going up real soon, and we have a new pop-up feature where you can join us right here on StreamYard live. All you have to do is hit the link whenever we process that link, and then make sure you just have on headphones so we don't hear any feedback noise, and make sure you have at least a decent connection. We want to be able to see who we're talking to. So without further ado, it's What Women Want. I'm gonna let my co-host Chris go first with any questions or.
Yeah, you know
let's
what?
Dive into it, bro.
Let's dive into this thing. I'm so excited, man. Listen, so my first question that I would have in regards to typically what women want, I want to know when it comes to relationship or career, which one do women really tend to, at this point in time in life? You know, at one point in time, 30, 40 years ago, they would say, being a housewife or whatever. But now you have the new modern career woman, self-employed. What in this point in time in life, for most of the majority of the women, what is more important in life? Is it career or family?
That's a good question. That's a very good question, Andrea.
That is a good question.
Yeah, and all you women out there, y'all heard the question, but we're gonna let Andrea start it off since
Okay. Well, I think a career is more important to a woman. Reason why I would say that is because of the independence, the goal mindset. So then family come, because you have to achieve the goals that you want in order to set the foundation for the family.
Oh wow, that's a good way. That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's a great way. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah,
and because like I said, the reason I asked that is because nowadays, and like you said, Andrea, is that you feel like at this point more important is career. Because, life has, everything has gotten so expensive now in life. You need to have some kind of career. You can't have a family if you don't have some type of money coming in at this point. And now it's so hard now for the man to do everything, to bring home the bacon, and all that good stuff, is because, we're just in a totally different time frame. Anybody that's, to me, now, again, this is my personal opinion. So don't waterboard me here. It is my personal opinion that the days of old where the woman just stays at home and raise kids is no more. Now,
true.
now there's some people who want to do that, and that's what they want to do. That's cool. But I'm talking about for the majority nowadays, the woman have to get out here and get it just like the man do, just for us to survive at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
Unless you win this lottery out here.
That's true. Okay, so Mariah said, I think that there should be a balance when it comes to career and relationship and family, which I agree as well. It should be 50-50, but
Yeah.
I think it's more career over the relationship.
Wow. I see also Jolene says it seems that more women are centered on focusing on a career first before starting a family. I mean, I kind of agree with that a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, but with, especially when it comes to women. I mean, I'm not here to put down us guys or anything like that, because of course I'm a guy and I'm an advocate for my own self. But I
Right.
mean, you know, a lot of women have been doing this along by themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
Been raising children along by themselves, and I could understand why the mentality now has kind of focused before, you know, the family.
Yeah.
You know. But because of the fact that they have to support the family, you know,
Right.
Right.
So I can agree with that. I mean, I understand. I understand why,
Yeah.
why it's like that. Yeah.
And another thing is because nowadays I have a a house full of daughters and my one son, and so with my kids, my daughters are going to school, are getting ready to go to school and stuff like that. And as I was just kind of doing some research, I see and it's actually always been this way, and I guess I'm just now noticing that majority of your schools are packed full of ladies. Right, your colleges and all of that, and so more ladies are going to school to follow their dreams and goals and aspirations. And now in the last 15 to 20 years, you have more ladies entrepreneurs. And that's across all races: white, black, Hispanic, Asian. You have more women that are entrepreneurs now. That they're not looking for the relationship. You know what I mean? They're looking for the bag.
That's true.
and then they can pick whatever man they want, or they can, or the level of men that they want would have to meet the level of where they are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
That's true.
I mean, but wouldn't you agree that bringing some, in a relationship, everybody needs to bring something to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can certainly understand.
That's true.
Okay. So that's my next question. I mean, when looking for a man, are you looking for somebody bringing something to the table? I mean, or versus, do they need to be up at your? I guess what I'm saying is, do they need to be on your level, or one if you made more than them and he made less than you?
Okay. That's a good question. Okay, so for me, because I had that experience to where I have always made more than a person I have dated.
Okay.
So that's not a problem, how much he makes. As long as he's putting on a uniform, that's more important. And then everything else will come together.
You always talking about this uniform. What is it with you in this uniform?
He got to be able to put on a uniform. If I had to put on a uniform, he got to put on a uniform too.
Right, so he gotta be working.
Have a job. Yes.
Period. Yeah.
Yes. Period.
She like, I don't care if he throwing away trash. He gotta have some type of work,
Yes.
some type of income.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, Andrea, we're gonna go ahead and put in the chat room, the phone, the chat room podcast line. It's 512-827-9164. Let me go ahead and put that in. 512-827-9164. And I hope I did that right. Yes. And then we're also going to throw up the chat room, the link to the video if you guys want to participate in tonight's. Yeah, you want to be on video, we'll put you on there too. So make sure that you guys wear headphones so that we don't have any feedback. I'm posting that link up right now. Mariah says, yes, you need a J-O-B.
A man that does not work, does not eat.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
Yes.
biblical. Man that don't work, don't eat.
Yeah.
So can I ask this question? So if he don't work, then that means you don't feed him either.
That's true. Yes.
That's funny. Okay, let me ask you a question. Is it true, like, most women they will almost never tell you what she wants because it ruins the fun when it comes to dating? Because I know we're talking about what women want, but do y'all keep that or disclose that information? Do y'all spill the whole beans, or do you make it like, I guess, on a need to know or as the relationship progresses? Does that make sense?
Kind of, sorta. But I think when you're dating, I think everything what you want and your expectation should be upfront in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get in the middle of the process or the dating process, then it's not a surprise. You already know what you want and what you're getting yourself into.
Jolene asked the question: would women support a man if he goes to college and not work? Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Okay, so will women support a man if he goes to college and not work?
Not work.
And for me personally, I would.
Okay.
I will support you to the fullest, and we'll go from there. But to be supportive, to be that supportive significant other, yes. And that goes back to the same thing, just like Tabitha Brown did with her husband.
Yeah.
So it's all about supporting the other person and their dreams.
Jacqueline says he can do both.
He can
You can go to school and you can work.
Yes.
So make sure you bring that check in there, boy.
Oh, my
Touché.
goodness.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Erica Vargas over there at Spreaker. Hey, Erica, we appreciate you listening. Thank you so much. And everybody else that is listening over there in the Spreaker chat room, thank you so much. You can participate as well. But that makes sense. I understand. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, again, do y'all really disclose that information about what you want, to a guy in the beginning? Or
Yes.
I mean, or is it healthy to do that? Or I was reading, doing some research, and I heard that women will almost never tell you what she wants because it ruins the fun of dating. I don't know if it has to do with her wanting the man to be spontaneous, or or kind of see what type of man he is. You know what I mean? To see what kind of character he has. So I'm just, I don't know.
So I would say to have it out in the beginning. Like I said, I would want it out in the beginning.
Okay.
So, like I said, therefore, what you're getting yourself into. Hey, if I can deal with this person for the next 30 days, 60 days, because what if we don't have the same wants, or you want a affectionate person. What if I'm not affectionate? What if you want this person that's really that conversates, but you don't conversate very well?
Right.
That's gonna be a problem. So I would want to know up front.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Pastor Monica Rivers says no, because he can present a representative based on your preferences. Ooh, that's a way. That's a really good way to look at that, because we do have some false representatives out there, and if he knows everything, then he could just sell you a dream. My cousin used to say that, they could just sell you a dream, and present themselves as something as they're not. So I can understand. I can understand that. That makes perfectly good sense.
Right, but hey, let's be very honest with you. When you're talking any form of, for the most part, for any form of relationship, if it's dating, if it's business, if it's anything, those first few encounters, we all put on some type of mask, some type of face. You know what I mean? We always make up or put makeup on our true quote unquote selves until we feel like we can trust you with the real person. Like, so I know for guys, we spoon feed you who we are until you've had enough, you know what I mean? And then you can make that decision. So, I agree with that statement, but vice versa, there's a lot of people that's going to do that anyway. They're going to walk in with, they're going to put their quote unquote best foot forward, and you're only going to get what they show you anyway.
Wow. Wow. Mike Walker from Single Black Christian.
Hey, Mike.
He says, here's a good question. Would a woman put a man's potential into consideration, or is it that just too tangible and risky for her? I tell you what, let's take a commercial break before we answer that. and then we'll come back, Mike, and we'll answer that question. Y'all guys, just keep it locked right here on the Next 15 Podcast Show. We'll be right back. Thank you for listening to the Next 15 Podcast Show tonight. Tune in every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Spreaker. Join my co-hosts, Andrea Clark, Chris McCallister, and me, Trey North, for a night of random topics covering relationships, current news, and everyday life issues. Follow us at Next 15 Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or go to next15podcast.com and subscribe to our website for special content and news about upcoming podcasts. Go to Spreaker.com and join our chat room and participate during the live show. You can also listen to previous shows on Apple and Google Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Now, let's get back to the show. You're listening to the Next 15 Podcast Show with Trey North on Spreaker.com. And we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Next 15 Podcast Show with Trey North, Chris McCallister, and the beautiful Andrea Clark. Tonight's topic is what women want. And we're asking the ladies out there, what do you guys want? You know, what do you guys want from men? And Mike Walker had a great question, I thought, before we went to the commercial break. And we're going to post it up again. He says, would a woman put a man's potential into consideration, or is that just too tangible and risky for her? Who wants to answer that one? I see Jolene Vasquez has, who has the time to waste? You could be in 1 year and then find out something that's a non-negotiable, but you haven't invested this time. Wow. So what do you say to that, Andrea? Or ladies, if y'all want to call in, Monica Rivers says too risky. What?
Yeah,
What about his potential? Come on.
I agree, Monica. Wow. I agree. It's too risky.
Okay, explain that. Come
I
on,
mean,
you gotta do better than that.
But at the same, it's like, why would you want to risk anything like that? Like, you would be like, oh, how can I explain it? His potential. So,
Monica says potential is not reality. What you mean?
Okay, go ahead and call in Monica.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll say I kind of do agree with that. Like Pastor Monica just posted, it's potential is not reality, because potential is never saying that they will be. It says they could be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you can waste a lot of time on potential never changing from just potential. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can waste a lot of time on it.
It's not tangible.
Yeah, it's not tangible because potential is dependent upon that individual.
Okay.
They will have to change their potential to reality.
Okay. I got a phone call coming in. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Next 15 Podcast Show. This is Trey North. Who am I speaking with and where are you calling from?
Hey, Pastor. Hey, this is Pastor Monica and calling from Northern Illinois. And just to speak on it.
Yeah, go ahead. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much.
Hi, Pastor Monica.
So like you were saying, like Pastor Chris was saying, it's you can't put your eggs into potential. Now, if the potential begins to become reality, then we talk about it. But just the potential alone, that doesn't get us anywhere. I mean, energy, there's a lot of potential energy out there, but it doesn't become kinetic. I'm just saying. So, I mean, we got to see some action behind it. We got to see some steps toward it. I mean, I don't think men want to put anything in potential. Y'all don't want to potentially know how to cook. So, I mean,
Touche.
Just saying.
Touche.
So, yep, that's my 2 cents. Y'all have a good night.
Well, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so very much.
Welcome. Bye.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, let's look at these comments in here. These ladies blown up. Jacqueline says, if all the time he's 40-something and hasn't done at least something, what is that person bringing be potential to you before you meet me? Well,
if he's 40 and not doing anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Is the potential actually doing something? You got to put in work. There are many people who have the potential but never reach it. That's the truth. That's a fair statement, ladies. I do believe that potential, and I could potential go get a job.
Right.
If I never go apply for the job, I'll never get the job. You know.
Yeah. But, and here's the thing. Let's be real. Everybody has potential.
You have potential.
Yeah, like Oprah used to say, you have potential. You have potential.
Yes.
Like everybody has potential, but everybody's not willing to put the work in. And again, that goes for anything. You know what I mean? So nobody wants to put the time in for quote unquote potential. I mean, not today's age. Everybody. We're such a fast society now, right? Yeah. So if you're not showing some type of progress quickly, then the world and ladies and guys for that most part will cut you loose.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I do got another question. I wrote down my questions.
Yeah.
I got a question because this is what keeps a woman's attention while in a long relationship?
What keeps a woman's attention in a long-term relationship?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you have the ecstasy phase where you guys are, when you first start dating and everything's all peaches and cream and everything's all nice and you haven't seen their flaws yet, you haven't had a chance to know that all these quote unquote bad things about them until all of their flaws, character flaws and such. But now you do, and now you're in a long relationship. I mean, what keeps y'all attention? Like, is it what he started doing when he first met you, or is it going to take a little bit extra at the end of the day?
I think when you in the honeymoon phase, in the beginning of a relationship, everything's fine, and then you're doing everything to get this person attention. Mm-hmm. So then when you get halfway through the relationship, you get too comfortable. Mm-hmm. And then that's probably when you start losing, each other because you're too comfortable in the situation.
Mm-hmm. So that level of comfortability. So, I guess him doing the same thing like that he did when he started out will keep your attention. Just being consistent, I guess the word I'm looking for, consistency. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. You had something, Chris?
Yeah. You know what? I do. I have a question. My question is, I've been waiting on this. My question is kind of simple, but I want to ask this, and this is for everybody who's listening also. You kind of started going into it, Trey, just a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. But the question is this. If a man never wants to do more than what he's doing now, mm-hmm. is he worth it? And so let me explain. Let's say a man makes, let's say, just $40,000 a year, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. If he makes $40,000 a year, he doesn't want to do any more than that. He just wants to do that, and he's okay with that. Would a woman potentially rather not be with him versus being with somebody who has aspirations to do bigger? Now, he's a good guy. Like, he's a good guy. He, he does what he's supposed to do and all that, but he just doesn't want to make any more money. Like, he's not money hungry. I'll put it that way. He'll do what he needs to take care of the bills and stuff like that, but he's not trying to make more in excess of $100,000 and more. Mm-hmm. And he just wants to, make $40,000 a year, or he's good with that. In a woman's point of view, is that man worth it, or is that individual worth it or not?
Ooh, okay. So I think that depends on the woman. You have women that are money hungry, materialistic. Let me put it that way. Women are materialistic, so their wants has to match up to his paycheck. So if the woman, God, I'm just saying.
I know, I get it though.
And, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then some women who are not as materialistic, probably is okay with the man just settling. But a woman is always going to want more for her man, just like the man going to want more for the woman,
But well, what if he's happy in his $40,000 career or his job? I mean, some people are happy at doing what they're doing, and happiness over the monetary part of it. I mean, some people, like Jacqueline says, if he wants to settle for that, then she's fine with that. That's his self-seeing. He's successful in his mind. He's helping and happy, and if I'm happy, then fine. So, and I respect that, because some people are content in their job. I don't think it doesn't mean that they're settling. I mean, they've reached a place in their life where they're happy and they're enjoying life. You know, I mean, and I don't see as a man, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, of course, we always want better. I mean, if a situation came and into the marriage or into the relationship or what have you, and we needed to make more money, then I'll be like, hey, let me get out here and go get this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Jolene says, if he's working hard, cut him some slack, ladies. The man doesn't always have to make more money. And then Pastor Monica Rivers says, 40K doesn't mean poor either. Some people who make 40K with no date is wealthier than. That's true. With no date is wealthier than some making six figures with tons of debt. That's a great point. That is an absolutely great point, because yes, 40K may be very comfortable for somebody who don't have a bunch of debt.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, don't have a bunch of debt. You're absolutely right.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I agree with that. Yeah.
Right. Well, hey, then that brings another question real quick is then, and I absolutely agree with Pastor Rivers, but okay, so what about again? So a man that has he's great, he's a great guy, but he's coming in with a bunch of debt.
Oh.
He's coming in, credit card debt, car repos, maybe a foreclosure on a home, some type of debt, right? Like, is it worth it?
Ooh. Well, it depends on. Well, he's already showing that he's not responsible with money.
Okay.
Right.
So. Okay. And if you're willing to if you really care for this individual and see, potential in this person, and then you like, okay, well, let's do this. Let me help you fix it.
Okay.
So, but that's my opinion.
Yeah. Mariah John, Minister Mariah says it's a no for me. Jolene said that's concerning. If he can't manage his money, he can't manage a family. Can he manage a family? Wow,
that's good.
Wow. I'll be honest. As a man, I'm always looking at the debt that the female has, before going in, because me, I'm anal about my credit. I have really great credit. I pay my bills on time. When I want something, I'm not in the six figures, but I can go into a car lot and go get me a car without putting no money down on it and get a 1.9 or 2.0% annual rate on it. I have great credit. So, me, I before getting into a marriage, because we understand that finance is one of the killers in relationships, especially when it comes to marriages. My thing is, I'll be trying to make sure before we even get to that point that debt is out the way and we at least got a decent credit score that we could do something together with. You know what I mean? So we could have some type of buying power. So yeah, it's a no for me as well. I mean, on my end.
Well, yeah, I will say this. I remember back when me and my wife was before we got married, we were dating, and I came in with a little debt. You know what I mean? I had some stuff that it wasn't big, but I did have some debt. I had more than she did. But with at that time, she came in and was like, well, hey, let's work this through. You know what I mean? Because she, like, of course, she seen the quote unquote potential that I had, and so. Once she found out my debt ratio, she was like, okay, well, let's see if we can manage this. And then, of course, I learned so much at that point in time about myself and her, and we worked that through. But I was saying, like, a lot of women probably wouldn't give a man the time of day once they find out that, you got all this debt. And like I see some of the comments, most of them are like, absolutely not. Most of these comments are like, and now I ain't gonna lie to you. Now me being older than I am now, I'm out. Even as a man, looking at him like, you gotta like, hey, you got this house that you got foreclosure on. I'm gonna need you to take care of that before we start. So okay. I just had to ask that question.
That's a good question. Guys, if you're out there listening, we love you. We love your support. If you got any questions, and ladies, we got them on blast right now. Here's your opportunity.
Oh yeah,
you know,
get your answer right now, sirs. Get your answers right now.
Because I'm asking questions. All right. I love you, Mama.
I see that. I see your moms.
Sex. When it comes, does it matter how good or how bad when it comes to the relationship? Wow, that was a sign.
I think it does matter.
Okay.
I think sex plays a big part in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So if the person is not being fulfilled, then they're gonna go elsewhere.
Okay.
So I think that plays a big part in the relationship.
But does it make, can that be taught though? You know what I mean? You know?
Can it be taught?
Like if he wasn't as good as in bed as you would want him to be, is that something you could work with? Teach, maybe he doesn't have as much experience as you may have.
You can. You can.
Yeah.
If the man is teachable. A lot of men ain't teachable.
Touche. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Well, my wife taught me a lot, right? So here's the thing. I love you, baby. She did. But since we're talking about it, let's talk about it. So, here's my question in regards to that. The Bible says that the bedroom is undefiled, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that generally means in my psyche and my thought process is when you're talking, when you're talking sex or whatever you want to call it, love making at that point in marriage. Let me say that first, marriage, in my standpoint.
Thank you.
But with that can cause a problem, right? Because if you're going to have to be open-minded as your spouse is. Now, again, you don't want to do crazy stuff for not, and what's crazy for me might not be crazy for you.
Right.
So that's a discussion. So again, like Miss Andrea said, if y'all are willing to communicate that, I think that's a workable issue. But there are some people who aren't, you know what I mean? They have stigmas or taboos attached to sex. And so they decide like, nah, I'm not gonna change. And the relationship will end because of it. Just like money.
Yeah.
Just like money, and this,
I was tempted one time to do a podcast on sexpectations, because, a lot of times we place expectations in the bedroom based on our previous or past experiences that we had with other people. And then we deem that as great sex, instead of looking at the individual. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's just the point. I was just thinking that came to my mind that sometimes, teachable, I get it, but those expectations that you did with homeboy back in the day, that might have been, like you said, that might be a little bit wild, too wild for me. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But but I wouldn't want you comparing me to somebody else and then teach me something that they did, because they might be better at it because they're the one that made it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but here's the thing. That's the problem with sex outside of marriage.
That's true, Shay.
Because when you get married, as much as you try your best not to, for the man and woman, you always are going to judge it according to what you experience.
Right.
Period.
Exactly. Period.
It is a human thing that is going to happen. Yeah. And so that's the problem again with sex outside of marriage. If you come in with these expectations and then you're let down, then you start treating that individual according to just sex versus the fact that this is a great person. They just might not do the same things you do when it comes to the bedroom. That's insane.
Yeah. Mike Walker says it can be taught, but it depends on who's doing the teaching.
Mike.
We
love you, big boy Mike.
Shamika Yabro says, communication is so important especially when it comes to sex. Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Right.
All right. What you got, Chris?
So my okay. So my next question again. We talked about like school and all that earlier. Would a woman, if a man never finished school, like not college but high school, but he's out here working,
okay,
he's doing all this good stuff, his job, he might be making that 30 to 35, but he has no education. Is that worth it?
I mean, I would still love him the same, but just encourage him to go back and get his high school diploma or his GED. Because if you have kids with this person, you won't be able to tell the man. I mean, you won't be able to tell your child not to finish high school if you never did. So you got to practice what you preach, and you got to lead by example. So the only thing that I would do is just encourage him to go back and get that piece of paper.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
here's I got a question. Well, Jacqueline has a question, but first, Diamond Lasker, what up, Diamond? She says no deal, and then Jacqueline says it depends on the person, and then Shamika says yes, it's worth it. If he wants to go back, I would support him either way.
Yeah.
Diamond says my mama say no. Going back to the sex question, Jacqueline says, so if I'm getting to know a man, should sex even be a topic yet?
If you just now getting to know the man, should it be a topic? I think it should be. I don't think it should be a topic until you actually know the person or where the relationship is going. So if it's getting serious, then the conversation should happen.
Yeah, that's good. Jolene Vasquez says there are many people who are intelligent who never finish. That's true. They can complete the job better than someone who has a degree in that area. That's true.
I will agree with that.
Yeah,
I will agree with that. I've met many individuals, men and women, who didn't finish school but was better educated in certain areas because they done it so long. One of my grandfathers dropped out of school, but this joker could build a house from the ground up, type of ordeal, and that was just him. Big Daddy is what we used to call him.
I wonder if the ladies are saying, the ones that are saying no deal, is it because if they can't commit to school, they might have commitment issues within the relationship? I don't know. You guys, can you ladies answer that for us? If for the ones that saying no, I know Diamond says no. Who else said no? Somebody else said no. I can't remember in the comments, but I mean, I can understand that. That's a good point. I mean, maybe they kind of frown upon that as not being able to hold a commitment. But a lot of people don't finish school or whatever for different reasons. There's different reasons why people don't finish school. Some women don't finish school because they have children, or they,
Correct.
or their parents got sick or they got sick themselves. So I mean, I think there's a lot of variance that plays into that when it comes to somebody not finishing school. Did they just not finish because they're lazy? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lack of interest.
Or they became a drug lord. I'm just playing.
Oh man, Monica Rivers says it's no because most jobs require you have one.
Right. Unless you're a roofer.
True, but a lot of people put that check and put GED because they don't ask for copies.
Yeah, true.
So it's always a way to get around that.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right about that. I just thought you absolutely
they don't
correct.
Ask for a copy. Yeah.
They don't ask a copy for your
high school
you're
diploma.
right.
GED.
High school diploma.
They used to ask
They
for transcripts.
used to, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't now?
No.
Well, most jobs now, if you go to college, they ask for your, certain areas or certain types of jobs now ask for college transcripts and stuff like that. Okay. But most jobs, I don't think Whataburger is asking for your
Your high school diploma.
your high school diploma to flip these burgers.
No, they're not. They're
paying like $15 an hour around the corner where I live.
Man, yeah.
I was like,
When did that start?
Like, I gotta get a part-time job. Welcome to Hoochie Burger. Oh man, Mike Walker says, I know several PhDs that can't put a grammatically correct sentence together. Touche,
Touche, bro.
That is true.
Yeah, but
That is true.
So did you say that was a deal breaker for you personally? I mean, we see the comments in the chat room, but is that like a?
That's not a deal breaker for me. No, you support.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You support because everybody has a reason. Like I said, you have to practice what you preach. For me, I had to finish because I have kids. So I can't tell my kids, well, it's okay for you not to finish school, or no, don't do it because I didn't do it. No, you're gonna finish because I finished, and that's gonna be important, and it's gonna matter at the end, in life.
That's good, Andrea. Jacqueline says that we have to remember to be humble and do things out of love. And is money more than a person loving you? I mean, you can get a 6-figure income dude that's treating you like trash, but the little $35,000, with no degree, is bringing you roses every day.
Right.
So that's a good one.
Let me ask this right along with that, Trey. Tyler Perry has conditioned the minds of a lot of us in this last 15, 20 years. Yeah. and nothing against Tyler Perry. He does a great job. And so I want to ask this question because, a lot of his movies in regards to that, man, me and my wives, one of our favorite movies is, oh my God, I can't think of the name of it. It's by Tyler Perry. Is that you have the one guy who's making all this money and he's a contractor, big time contractor, but the woman's husband is a small time.
Yeah, I remember that.
I can't think of the name of the movie.
I know
right?
y'all ladies know that movie. Yeah.
I hate the name Mr. Cart. I hate the name Mr. Cartwright. I hate his name. Right, by the way.
Oh, I can do bad on my own.
I can do bad on my own. Is that what it is? Okay. And so with that, so is that paradigm? Is that paradigm a real thing that Tyler Perry was showing? Like, women rather deal with an abusive individual because he makes this type of money versus being with a man that'll love you the way that you want to be loved. But the fact that he don't make that kind of money and y'all might have to do some struggling. He says the family that prays. Okay. Yeah. So whichever one of that is that a real thing nowadays, or is that maybe 15, 20 years ago?
I think that's more 15, 20 years ago for the woman to be at home and not work, and the man bring home the bacon. Because I think now generation is all, the woman is working, the man is working. So I think that's back in the old days.
Back in the old days. The old days. Yeah. Well, yeah. I agree with that for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that most part?
No, I said the most part because I mean, you still find. Now again, I'm a guy, so I don't want to speak on behalf of the women, but you do still see it. I mean, on TV a lot of times too. Where nothing against like Basketball Wives and all that, but you find women that will stay in a relationship where the man is verbally abusive, physically abusive. Mentally abusive, and just because he's able to provide what most men can't provide, they stay.
Yeah.
I
agree with that. I'll tell you what, guys. Let's take another commercial, and then when we come back, we'll start wrapping things up. If you guys have anything to add, 512-827-9164. We'll see you guys right back after these commercial messages.
Hey family, Chris McCallister here, senior pastor of Life Changers Church here in the great city of Austin, Texas. I wanted to come and personally invite you to one of our live services. Listen, I know we're still in a pandemic, but God is doing something great here at Life Changers Church. And I want you to be a part of what he's doing right here at Life Changers Church. From our great praise and worship that literally ushers the presence of God into this building, and also our great and wonderful band, man, that literally backs up our praise and worship team. But not just that, we actually have a great production team that brings you, just brings you everything on our live broadcast, and they do such a wonderful job. Or if you just want to come and be a part of just the regular membership and sit down and just experience the love that comes with Life Changers Church. Because we truly understand that with here, we're changing lives starting with ourselves. So I really want to see you here. Make up in your mind. Invite your family. Invite your friends. Hey, even invite your enemy. Right here in Austin, Texas at 15020 North I-35 Frontage Road, Austin, Texas 78728. Listen, me and Pastor Kim will love to see your face in the place. God is up to something big and is doing something big for you. I'll see you when you get here. God bless.
And we're back with the Next 15 podcast show. Trey North, yours truly, Andrea and Chris McCallister on this Friday night. What women want. And as we went to the commercials, we had a bunch of comments over there on Facebook and other areas that we are broadcasting live. And Andrea, you said you wanted to read some of those.
Okay, yeah. So Jacqueline Hammond said, at my age, I have more friends who put up with financial stability and put up with bad behavior.
So, maybe selling because of maybe the age bracket. Hey,
that could be that too.
Wow. We got another one too. Jolene Vasquez says it's hard when the woman has to depend on the man because she isn't working. So she ends up being stuck in a relationship because he's the sole provider, especially if there are kids involved. Ooh, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. That's a good point. They're in a situation. Wow. And then Diamond says, or maybe the person is just comfortable and honestly can't see themselves with anybody else. Wow. Now that's something.
Yeah.
Wow. And self-esteem is something.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So do you equate that to low self-esteem?
It could be low self-esteem.
Yeah. I agree with that. And then Jacqueline comes back and says 30 or 35 years to be financially secure. I'm in my 50s and it makes me sick. My sister put up with it for money.
Wow.
Because of the money.
Is sad. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, money. Hey, listen, money is powerful, guys. It's like money is powerful. Let's not joke around it.
Yeah.
And money for men is like beauty for women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I feel, and it's just my opinion, I feel women to deal with a lot when it comes to a man if he makes a lot of money. Vice versa, men to deal with a lot if a woman looks a certain way.
I think you might be right.
It's just facts.
I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Done with you.
Yeah.
Get out. And then she turns around and you be like, Wait, Gina.
Yeah, you do the bar. Yeah, you do the bar. They're like, Gina. Yeah, we all big and bad until they ready to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I got one more question. Chris, did you have any more questions?
I'm good. No, man.
Because it's just me and you tonight. The fellas on. Okay. I got several more, but I only got time for one. When dating a woman with children, what does she look for in that man?
When dating somebody with children,
yeah,
you need to look for a man who is family oriented, who is honest, who can communicate, but the man have to love kids. So if you have kids, if he have kids on his own and he's not involved in their life, then he's not going to be involved in your kids' life. So that's what I say about that one.
Listen, I'm sorry at the commercial break we missed a phone call. If you would like to call back through, just let us know. I'm apologize for that. We do several things around here at the Next 15 podcast show. Yeah, ladies, anybody want to address that over there in the chat rooms? You guys are blowing it up. The fellas are scared tonight, I tell you.
Right, they scared to talk.
I know.
That's all right, though.
I know. If y'all don't, then we gonna wrap this thing up right here. We almost an hour into the show. We try to keep it at an hour. Did you have anything or any final, Andrea, final comments? What women want? Your final comments to us men, to all the men out there.
So my final comment would be, women want to feel wanted. To sum it up, women want to feel wanted.
Okay. That's it. Okay. As simple as that. Y'all don't act like that.
Period.
Jacqueline says, "Don't move too fast and put your kids in the relationship." Okay, put your kids in a relationship. It's to be a good example for my children. And Shamika says, "That's good, Andrea." So y'all want to be wanted, okay? So y'all, do y'all really know y'all want all the time? I guess another question.
Some women don't want. Some women don't know what they want at a certain age. I say that because in the beginning, at a younger age, I didn't know what I wanted in a man. But when you grow and you mature, when you get older, then from past experience and past relationship, then you're gonna start seeing what you're not going to accept and what you will accept and what you want. So your wants and needs change.
Yeah, that's
depending on your age.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you on that? Man, well, it's been great. I appreciate it. Listen, want to thank everybody from tuning in on Facebook Live and YouTube. And over there at Spreaker, Erica Vargas, thank you so much for showing up over there on the Spreaker side. I know we've migrated over here doing the video, and everybody wants to see the video. But we want to thank you so much for tuning in as well. I want to give a shout-out to my mom, Stella B. North. Thank you so much, Mama. I love you,
Mom,
for tuning in. And everybody that commented tonight, thank you so much. Hold on. I got a voice audio coming in. Hold on.
Hold on. Yeah.
Welcome to the Next 15 podcast show. This is Trey North. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Mariah.
Hey, Minister Mariah.
Hey, just to kind of pick you up off of what Andrea said, is that I totally agree. When you get older, you start to figure out what are your non-negotiables and what are you willing to put up with and what you're willing not to put up with. And so I definitely agree with that sometimes you don't know what you want at that moment, but when you go through relationships and you go through failed relationships, you realize, okay, I'm not willing to put up with that. And it's kind of like, are you willing to love that person in spite of? Because Pastor Monica and I talk about that. Are you willing to love them in spite of that, in spite of this? So that's my 2 cents, y'all. Y'all continue to have a blast, and I'll see y'all next week.
Well, thank you so much for calling in and tuning in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey. Ain't gonna top that. Listen, I'm about to close it down. She said it all. Her and Andrea did it. So listen, guys, we do this every Friday, 7 p.m. right here at the same time, same place. Catch us at next15podcast.com, where you can find this episode and other episodes, all of our episodes, seasons 1 through 3. And listen, we love y'all. We'll be praying for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Chris McCallister and Andrea Clark, we're out of here. See you back on the Next 15 podcast show. We out. I'd say we were out. I said we out. I said we out. This has been a Next 15 podcast production. Remember, we are live Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you follow us at Next 15 Podcast on Instagram, Spreaker, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to our website at next15podcast.com, where you can get exclusive content, read our blogs, and get information on upcoming episodes and special events. We'll see you on the Next 15.